the 37th division of Psalm. I want to look at the 7th verse. And it says, rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret because of him who prospers in his way, because of the man who carries out wicked schemes. Please, I want you to get this. He says, do not fret because of him who prospers in his way, because of the man who carries out wicked schemes. Schemes. That's a thing. That's a thing. The man who carries out wicked schemes. I want to give you some context and depth as that's what we do right here on the Soul Fuel. Psalm 37 was written by David in his later years. And we would know this from verse 25. It's a verse that I've quoted before, even in prayer. And it talks about how he says, I was young, but now I'm old, but never have I seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging for bread, or his seed beg for bread. It's a reflection on a life of walking with the Lord, and a warning against comparing your process to someone else's progress. David is addressing people who are frustrated, watching evildoers succeed temporarily while they themselves are still waiting on God's promises, while you're still waiting on things to be situated, things to be fixed, circumstances to be worked out. How many of you can you say that? Come on, put it in the chat if you've been there before. If you are frustrated because Beyonce and them is successful, you frustrated because little Andre he's a street pharmacist, and he's doing better than me, and he ain't got caught yet. I'm trying to figure out why is Sandra doing so well, and she don't even have no job. But how is she being taken care of? How is her situation being worked out? How is David is saying, don't confuse delay with denial. The word rest, I'm not even going to try to say the Hebrew word for rest, but it's D-A-M-A-M. It has the little thing over the word, the little accent over the A. The rest in Hebrew just basically means to be silent. It means to be still or to quiet oneself. It's not passive. It's active trust. It's not just being still like whatever. No, it's you actively putting your trust in the Most High. It's active trust. You stop striving internally because you trust God externally. And you stop striving externally because you trust God internally. Wait patiently comes from chul. I tried to say it. It's a Hebrew word, C-H-U-L, right? And the meaning is to twist, whirl, or wring with pain. To wait patiently means to twist, whirl, or wring with pain. This paints a picture. It paints a picture of endurance under tension. It paints a picture of, again, endurance under tension, the type of patience that costs something. So David is essentially saying, be still even when waiting feels like wrestling. That's what waiting means. Waiting is the twist. Is the ring, like it's a tussle. You ever felt that? You ever like had to wait in a small place, in a small area, and you never thought of yourself being claustrophobic, but it just makes you want to move? Have you ever been restrained before? Held down? And you try to be still, but it's just something in me that just I feel like I just gotta move. In ancient Israel, waiting wasn't viewed as weakness, but as wisdom. Is that speaking to anybody this afternoon? Huh? In ancient Israel, waiting was not considered or viewed as weakness, but as wisdom. Farmers understood that nothing fruitful grows overnight. Listen, the cultural context of the text will always give you a better understanding of what the text is actually saying. Come on, this is Bible study. I guess it's going to always be Bible study coming from here. Right? Farmers understood that nothing fruitful grows overnight. Seasons of stillness were part of stewardship. It was part of stewardship. You got to know that. You got to know that. Likewise, this psalm addresses the human tendency. It addresses the human tendency to measure success by movement. How many of you have measured success by movement? Come on, just be honest. Be honest. Ain't nobody judging you. I done it before. You measured success by movement. Again, farmers, even today, farmers understand that nothing fruitful grows overnight. Seasons of stillness are part of stewardship. It's a part of stewardship. You got to know it. It is a part of stewardship. Here it is again. He is addressing the human mind and the human urgency and the human wiring, the tendency to measure success by movement. But in God's economy, stillness is often the soil of strategy. Stillness is often the soil of strategy. Can you write that in the chat? Put it in the comments. Stillness is often the soil of strategy. It is. It is often the soil of strategy. That's the place to plan. That's the place to seek his face. That's the place, when I say plan, that is planning with him in the room, planning in his presence, making plans that you know he will bless. David wrote this in a time of political corruption and moral decay, yet he instructs the righteous to stay calm and trust God's justice and remain fruitful in faith. Here's something I need you to know. This is a takeaway. I need you to get this. You have to rest in resistance. Because when you choose peace over panic, you're refusing to let fear control your timeline. You are refusing to let fear control your timeline. I say this all the time. When you don't have faith, you're automatically, I said this yesterday's sermon. When you are not having faith the way that faith is, you're supposed to have it, because faith is always supposed to be increasing. It's never supposed to be decreasing. And when faith is decreasing, it is because fear is taking over. Fear is the opposite of faith. When you don't have faith, you have fear. Even when people who don't know God, when they not even just don't know God, but people who begin to walk away from the Lord because it seems feasible, it seems easier, it seems that I'd rather know what's going on. I rather have control. I rather know. I rather be certain. But nothing in this life is certain except trusting in the Lord. Because we know all things work together for the. I'll always go back to that because it's a truth. He uses everything. He wastes nothing. I want you to understand that waiting is working. Man, if I ain't, I'm repeating it's just a flashback. I'm repeating myself from 2 years ago, probably a year ago, because I pretty much say the same stuff. It's just different ways to say it. How many times can you say the same thing? I'm reading from the same Bible. That's the power in the word of God. Because it's like, I'm not saying nothing new. Ain't nothing new under the sun. I'm not saying, the Lord is just giving me different ways to say it. Huh? Waiting is working. Because remember we said this. I've been saying this forever. I've been saying this forever since I've been pastoring. Y'all been rocking with us online, an online church forever. Seeing coming out to prayer and seeing it and worshiping in person. I've been saying this forever. When you say you wait on the Lord, most people are still physically. They're still physically. They don't do anything. They literally wait on the Lord and don't do nothing. But it's not just an external. External is a part of it, because when I wait inwardly and my soul is resting in the Lord of the Sabbath, if my soul is resting in him, my mind is resting in him, and my heart is resting in him, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So whatever, if I really have the peace of God that is guarding my heart and my mind in Christ Jesus, as Paul says, then what does that mean? That means that the actions that I take are going to be patient steps. I'm going to be calculated in what I do, because I'm not going to be quick to make a decision or move. I won't. Why? Because I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Waiting is working. While you wait, the Lord is arranging. He is arranging hearts. This is what he's arranging. You ready? Hearts, doors, and timing. Martha Davis, he's arranging hearts, doors, and timing. But you have to be submitted to his will, because if you're not, you throw off everything that he's doing. Because if you get to moving, that means you'll move past a door that he's getting ready to open. If you move before time, you'll cause a heart to change in the wrong direction. Because whatever he's going to do it with or without you. So the heart may be changed, but you may change the heart based on what you do and the interaction that the design that he had laid out for your interaction with a heart. Then he'll bring somebody else around to do what you were supposed to do while you're still waiting. You continue to wait because you don't know how to pray his will. You don't know how to obey his word. What David is saying here, when he's speaking strong, he says, "Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret because of him who prospers in his way, because of the man who carries out wicked schemes." Listen, the heart of the king is in the hands of God. The heart of the president is in the hands of God. The heart of Pharaoh, where it was in the hands of God. You got to know it. Here's why you can't afford to be jealous of them, because first of all, jealousy is as cruel as the grave, and jealousy will take you out of this life. Jealousy will cause you to be sick. Comparison kills contentment. Comparison kills contentment. Stop watching who seems ahead. Stop paying attention to who seems ahead. What's meant for them can't replace what's prepared for you. I need you to write that down. What's meant for them cannot replace what's been prepared for me. It's so many people that preach about haters and stuff, and preach about not saying this, not saying that. Listen, I never worried about keeping my ideas to myself, because he'll give you discernment who you can share things with and who you can't share things with. But I'm not worried about nobody stealing my ideas. You know why? Because you can't do it like me. You can have the resources, but you don't have the spirit. You can have the money all you want, but you don't have the audience that will connect to it, because it's not yours. So you can steal it all you want. Take the name. And we want to be wild. I'm not saying talk to anybody, but I'm just saying there's nothing new under the sun. All I'm saying is, if you keep comparing yourself to what somebody else has already done, you will never do what God has prepared for you. Stop watching who seems ahead.